So I think it sounds like to me she wanted some examples of like some of the more scary things that we get involved with. Cases where you have some intense activity, they're actually a lot of fun, but can be a little unnerving. There's been instances where I myself have been sort of smacked and just I've been pinched. I never had my hair pulled, but I did have a case like that nice lady said where somebody's hair was getting pulled. It was kind of crazy to see. If you can imagine somebody's hair just lifting and being pulled, and you can see her head jerking. And she's used to it, so it's not like it hurts her. She's like, this damn thing. Every day he's messing with me, and then her hair's like this. But that was the first time actually I had seen something like that, and I was in such shock that I literally think I was drooling. Honestly, I was just, the whole time. And she's like, are you okay? It's hard to imagine something like that can happen unless you see it. It truly is. Yeah. Amy, you had some.
I've had some things. I already mentioned the thing being thrown, and I really haven't seen anything that crazy. I'm kind of jealous, actually. I'd like to see that. But
well, your life's not over.
I know. We've got time.
You have time. You'll be able to see.
We're going to the right places.
We're going to the right places, yeah. Absolutely.
In the right line of work.
The right line of work. Yeah, you're in the right line of work. Yes.
Yeah, I know you all investigate a lot of sanatoriums and places that a lot of people have been passed away in it. What emotionally is the hardest type place for you to investigate?
That question confused me a little bit. And I think it's only because I couldn't really hear it too well.
I think she's asking the history of places, like which have been the most kind of disturbing just to be there.
Is that what you're asking?
You do a lot of sanatoriums and asylums that have been closed, and knowing the things that have gone on in those places, what's the most difficult for you all emotionally, yourselves, to go in and investigate with, some of the things you know have gone on in those places?
It's an interesting question, and now that I get it, I like it quite a bit. Amy, can I?
Yeah, no, I have to say, it's kind of mind-boggling sometimes the locations you go to, and to think of the history of it, and sanatoriums in particular, just because so many people passed away there, and they were sick for a long time, and they were trying to live like a normal life, have some sense of normalcy as they were getting sicker and sicker. And Waverly Hills is tough, because a lot of kids died there, and you get EVP of children, and that's probably the toughest thing for me when it's a child.
The child.
Children involved, it's tough.
Really, with anything with children, it's tough because they just don't understand. They're like, why is? I looked at a child, and she just looked at me with all some tears, like, why won't my toys play with me? Like every time she grabbed this doll, like it would disappear, or whatever. Like they just don't understand it. But emotionally, to be honest, I'm absolutely addicted to asylums and abandoned. I would never trespass, break and enter. But when we go there, I just continuously think in my head how lucky I am to be in an abandoned building it's actually beautiful. The dilapidation, I love it. And I just can't think of a cooler place to be than in a haunted, asylum at 3:30 in the morning in the dark, alone with a flashlight. Like how much cooler does it get in my eyes, anyway?
Not much cooler.
Yeah, but at the Titanic exhibit, I got pretty emotional. There's some really, really amazing things in there. Just the turmoil of those. One lady had said, and I remember this quote. She said, and this was pretty sad. She said, "I kept hearing them scream, women and children first." She said, I felt relief from that. She said, but then it also meant that I was losing the greatest love I'd ever had, my husband. Like that means women and children first, sure, but she could leave her husband on the boat. Like, can you imagine that? A husband saying bye to, I'll never see you again. Take off on the boat. Like, oh my God, I'd rather kill myself.
Remember at the end of Titanic, where they give you that card?
Oh, why would they do that?
And you have to look and see if you would have lived or died. It's the worst.
They give you a card with a real person's name on it that was on the Titanic ship. You go, oh, this is the card. Where is it? And they're like, oh, you have to go over there to see if you lived or died. I'm like, what? And you go over to the board, and it's like, oh great, so I died on this ship, and it's kind of fun, but it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. They had vials of perfume that have been there, that are from, like really on the Titanic, and you could still smell the scent. And that's almost like time travel, like you're smelling the perfume this woman wore, however many years ago.
This is a question, a big fan of the show. This is a question I've had since the very first episode I saw. Obviously, you guys are all over the place, right? You're in Philadelphia, you're in Florida, you went to that Cuban theater, right? Have you ever gotten an EVP not in English, where you have to go get someone to translate it for you?
You should have heard Steve trying to speak Spanish. Hey, Chris and I were downstairs and we just kept hearing over and over again, ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Like he's yelling. I'm like, if you say it louder, it doesn't make it any easier to understand.
We had a camera operator that was Spanish, and he would just whisper things and say this. And I would say, of course I can't, so I would jacking off. And he's like, even if they're here, they're not going to know what you're saying. Like, that's bad. I'm like, hey, what do you want?
You did a whole EVP session with them, didn't you? And they didn't hear it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they allowed our camera guy, because he spoke the language, to interesting, though, I was investigating a place called Anawan Rock, probably about 12 years ago in Massachusetts, and there was a big battle there with all kinds of stuff. And that's actually with Brian Marnois and a few other investigators. And this was actually maybe 10 years ago now. And we were hearing, literally we're on this rock investigating, and we started hearing like people were running through the woods. And when I say rock, the rock was bigger than this table, it's all in here, it's more like a mountain. But you kept hearing all this running through the woods. We're like, what could this be? We went down into the woods and we started recording. We went back and we were listening to it, and we started hearing these voices. And we're like, oh my goodness, so what could this be? It was in a different language. And we actually, did a little bit of research just to see what may have happened there, and we found out that there was battles with Native Americans and I think it was French or German or something. But so we brought the recordings to an expert, and he said, I know exactly what this says. And he said, this means stand and fight. They're yelling to you, stand and fight. And so, in my opinion, that was like a residual haunting. It probably didn't really mean us. It's just what they were saying at the time, or something. But that was awesome. When he said to me, "Yep, I know exactly what that says," looked up papers. Yep, stand in and fight. I knew it. They want you to fight. And I'm like, "Jeez, I just can't believe it." It was awesome. I love that shirt, jacket. Of course, you can come to the microphone. Let's go to the microphone.
Have you ever done a personal investigation for a friend?
That's a great question. For a friend, you're an investigation for a friend?
I investigated my mom's house for her, actually a barn on her property they thought was haunted. So that wasn't too long ago, actually, just a year or two ago. I mean, they didn't go like all out, but we went and did some EVP work, and took an EMF detector up there, and she was just trying to figure out what was going on. I think.
I would investigate. I mean, I love it. I'll investigate anywhere, anytime. If a friend said, "Hey, man, my house is on it. Let's go. Let's do it." But I haven't. Or I would. I think we only time for like two more questions. We're at our time's end. But we'll take this. But real quick, before we take this last question, as soon as we leave here, we're going to head to the Walk of Fame. There's a table for us. We'll be signing some stuff, whatever you have, and then just saying hi again. So visit us over there. That's right at the Walk of Fame. With t-shirts and all that which it has. You can say hi to us again, get pictures with us, and whatever you want to do. I think Dave with me. Hello, my friend. I should get this to
It's a hat.
I know, where's this hat? I want to throw a float. It didn't work. I thought maybe you would pull my hat away or something. Yes?
I had a question about one of my favorite episodes. You went to an asylum and to investigate this ghost that they called Lily, this little girl who played with a ball. I was wondering...
Trans-Allegheny, lunatic asylum.
Yes, I think so.
That, yeah.
I was wondering, was she attached to the ball, or did she know she was dead, or was she still waiting for her mom, or that was just never clear?
What a good question. Holy cow, maybe.
I wasn't at that investigation.
Oh,
But
that's right, you were, excuse me.
speaking of other places I didn't get to go, but we did just go there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did an event there, it was amazing. So that was what I think, I'm not sure exactly what that was, but I think it may have been attached, not to the ball, but maybe to the surroundings, you know. But maybe not necessarily the ball. We do believe it was residual, you know, not aware of time and space and all that thing, but I don't think it was attached to the ball. But gang, we got to head out of here. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you next year, right? Of course, please. And come say hi to us, Walker Plain will be there, and we'll high-five and all that.